Hi, welcome to Friday Energy Focus of the Week for September 6th through 13th. And my name is Leslie Romine, and I'm a consultant, trainer, and practitioner in transformational tools. And we have the founder of this wonderful um, venue here, and it is Arlene Arnold. Let her say hello and tell about herself a little bit.
Hello, everybody. So glad that you're here with us. And Leslie and I just love doing this kind of thing together. We've had a lot of times we spent together doing training for color therapy and blog talk radio and a bunch of stuff. So this is a really fun venue for us. So I'm really glad that you're here, and we are going to have some fun today.
Mhm. Yes, and to start off, we're going to take a look at um, the luminaries for September and the colors. And Arlene has um, started this wonderful addition to our weekly readings with the monthly reading now. And so it kind of covers the whole month. And if you haven't seen it yet, you can go over to YouTube and look under transformational tools, and it should come up there with the monthly reading for September. The luminaries that came up, um, I have one of them, was awakened, and you can see the beautiful colors in there, turquoise and pink and all these other beautiful ones. And ecstasy was the other one. And this seems to look like it has all of them in it. Just beautiful. What a colorful, beautiful card. Yeah. And then there were two colors that came up that Arlene wanted to emphasize for this month. And they are purple and yellow. And I'm just holding up the ones in her color card deck for us to be able to be reminded of the colors. And she'll speak to that and how they really connect with this week's readings too. It's amazing how that happens. So, all right. Um, I guess we'll start. Oh, just as a reminder, if you're here, let us know by using the chat on the side just to sign in and say hello. And hi, Will. See you already. And that helps us know that you're here. And also later on when we do the personal readings, it'll let us know if you want to have a reading from us today. All right, so the first one that came up this week was Love Child in the Luminaries. And the parts of that really stuck home with, that came out and really spoke to me, were this part where this is about the innocent child within each of us. And, when we're that child self, we have this innocence and openness to the world. Thank you. And it's encouraging us to bring that home in ourselves, and just feel free to express that. Well, lots of us have been working with that in our own lives and realize that, maybe our inner child sometimes gets a little bit afraid, or they're not quite trusting of us. And it says the way you help that inner child to feel safe and comfortable and not afraid of being judged is to take responsibility for discernment. And the discernment is like knowing when things are okay, when they feel okay, or whether they are okay, or whether maybe not this time, and um, as we make choices that that really honor ourselves and what we feel and what we need, then that allows the child in us to feel safe. Just as a little, thanks, Arlene. Just as a little bit of sharing, I remember one of the first times when Arlene and I were working with this for myself, and we looked at the child parts and kind of got them in a group and kind of went around and worked with the child parts and asked them questions, and there were some child wounds that were there, and uh, some parts in my child were not quite ready to, you know, um, release what had happened, because they weren't quite sure I would follow through, or they weren't quite sure they could trust me yet for whatever reason. And so when we worked with that was just an amazing process for us to realize that, oh, that part, we can get to a place where we make this relationship whole again, where they can come to us and we can talk to them, and it's a safe place to be. And safety is so important for us, to know that as we express ourselves in the world, that uh, we can do it knowing that we are doing the best we can and expressing ourselves. Do you have something you want to add to that, Arlene?
Yeah, what I feel is really important is that the child aspect of us is such an important part of us. And to be able to bring that part into a place where it's willing to be present. And part of having it be willing to be present is what you said. It needs to feel safe, but also it needs to feel like it can be who it is. I know I spent a lot of my life not letting the little kid come out because of some experiences that I'd had where I was being my little kid and it was misinterpreted. And so it's like that led me to a place of kind of closing down. And what we want to do is to have this free part of us know when it can come out and play, because we're there to help discern when it's okay for that child part to come out. So anyway, bye, Peter. Anyway, that has been a really important part of my life, and a part of so many different sessions that I've done over the years. It's kind of like we have to deal with that to be whole. And that part of us, the child part, is so wise, so wise.
Mm-hmm.
And when we are able to access that, that is really amazing what gifts it brings to us. I mean, it's really where our joy is.
Mm-hmm.
It's where our fun is.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it's been tamped down, then it's really hard to feel that. So one of the things I was thinking about in relationship to both the luminaries that are here for the month, the awakened one, there's a piece in there that says, you are born anew, transformed, empowered, and ready to serve. I think the healing of the child self is a huge part of the being awakened. Huge. Because when you get into that place, you feel more whole. You feel like you can be fully who you are. And then ecstasy was the other one for the month. And the child is a big part of ecstasy. The child is such an important piece of us feeling that joy, that sense that, man, I think I'm on the right track. I think I don't know about you, but I've just recently been working on the new website, and I was just so frustrated and couldn't figure out the direction. And then so I meditated. You know, when you have to, you go to the tools.
Yeah.
And I use some of the tools that we have, and lo and behold, what came out was a whole new understanding of how to put this together. And I'm telling you, my ecstasy was out, you know. And now as a little kid, just having a great time, feeling like, wow, we're going to have fun with this.
Mhm.
Instead of where I was before there, just being frustrated, which really tamps down the little child.
Yeah.
So I think this child self is, it's so important to us. Um, it's such a valuable part of us. So I'm glad that that came up and that we could talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The child self is just, you were talking about it being wise, you know, and I just thought, yeah, it's wise and it's free and it's free to be expressive and joyful and curious, you know, all these attributes that the little ones have. We recently had our grandkids around visiting us, and oh, it was just, you know, you just see that it exude out of their cells, and they get really excited when new things are in their attention, and you know, it's so fun to watch, but it's fun to feel that inside us too, and that can be reborn. And I know that sometimes things, when they get pushed down, they just stop being expressed. But yeah, yeah. So um, I just love that we can actually go back and do that and heal that and bring it forth in our lives again. Thanks. Um, Another aspect of that was take the acceptance of self and others, even while you're being judged. You know, choosing infinite possibilities and living with no expected outcomes. That was one part. All is given and received without strings attached, a gift of love. And I think that taps right back into, um, you know, with the no expectations and just see what's going to happen. Because when you're a child, it's like it's not all written down what you're going to do, you know, and you can be exploring and start creating things with it, and um, and that's the infinite possibilities showing up. And this part about even while being judged, as I was reading that, I thought, yeah, sometimes we might get out there and feel judged by someone. But when we look at, for myself, when I look at how I would in the past judge myself or hold myself back because I thought I would be judged, then I just thought, no, you know, if that person's expressing theirs and I'm expressing mine and they don't happen to just like coordinate, it's okay, you know, and whatever comes up with the other person, my compassion and my understanding is greater when I can just allow that to happen. I know you found that true too lately.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the other thing, Leslie, is that of what I look at, this whole thing about the child feeling like it can be who it is. It's such an important part of being healthy, healthy emotionally, healthy physically, because the child, when it's really happy, those vibes that that child puts out, that's going to really give your body a lift, as well as how you're feeling about your life. And sometimes we forget that everything that happens within us affects us in our wholeness. It's not just
Mhm.
one little part. It really affects everything. And
Mhm.
I was thinking too about this idea that you know, we think that we have to have all the answers, but sometimes, like you were talking about, when we let go and we let that flow through us, and that can be this child self that's flowing through us. And when it's in the midst of our discernment, then it's such a joy because we know that that child is safe. And when there is judgment, if we're not able to take that and see it as an observer, that's the message to us that there's something unfinished in us. There's something
Exactly.
unhealed in us.
Yeah.
And so we can celebrate that because that is part of how we're made. Is our body will tell us when we have something that hurts, and we use that in our color therapy. And our mood can tell us, our confusion can tell us, and our responses to someone who's judging can tell us.
Mhm.
And so I think that if we just see this as a process of evolving to the place where we pretty much all the time can stay in that place of as an observer, oh my goodness, the empowerment that comes from that, the sense of I can be in this world and not be taken over by all of this other stuff. I can be a bright light here because I don't have to be taken off track from that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that observer self is also when you're observing yourself, but you're also observing from a point of view that accepts the other person because you feel safe, and you can know, oh, okay, that's what that is. Your discernment tells you, oh, that's what they're saying, or that's what they're feeling, and just acknowledge it, that they are like me. They are like us. We have times when we're really in that mode, and other times when we fall out of it for whatever reason, or we're having a little trouble, we're working on it. It's like we're always working on awareness, how, and being aware. And if our child self knows that this is what she does, this is what he does, he can see, and we can see that I'm in a process of growth and evolving, and so is that other person. That's that long view that,
Yeah.
that we're talking about.
And when we're in that place where we can be that observer,
Mhm.
then instead of trying to say, yeah, but da 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 da, trying to say something about ourselves at that point, we can just be there and be listening and saying,
Mhm.
I wonder what's really going on here.
Mhm.
And that gives us the ability to respond out of love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What a mm, I guess blessing is the word I want to say, to be able to be in that place of acceptance and curiosity, instead of blaming ourselves or somebody else or a situation. It's like, take it out of there and just be present with yourself, and be curious. I have a friend that she likes, her phrase is, I wonder. I wonder what this is about. I wonder about this and that. She likes to use that a lot. But yeah.
Well, and I like the phrase, what if? What if this is something that this person is working on?
Mhm.
What if this is some kind of damage that this person had in their life? And that doesn't say it's okay to come at somebody else necessarily, but it means that you can be that strong person that's there, that's listening. And sometimes that's a huge part of the healing that goes on. And it's a healing that goes on for yourself when you realize, wow, I was actually able to do that. I didn't get sucked into this.
Yeah.
And it can heal the other person who says, oh, he or she is just really listening to me. They really get me. And that
Mhm.
makes them safe, and the child inside of them safe enough to be able to say what's true for them.
Mhm. I love how our community that we've been working with over the years, but especially recently, have come to realize that as we grow and grow together, that we're able to provide that place for each other. and just say, oh, I see, how, how can I be of service, in other words. And growing together is fun. It's what your little one always wanted, maybe, in your family.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and it's so interesting to watch, because sometimes one of us is off kilter and somebody else is in alignment. So it's like, if there's more than one of us there, the one that's pretty healthy at that moment can come in and kind of be there to help move this situation to a place where everybody gets heard. I just love that. So it's not about, our friend Marion often says that one of the biggest things that she heard from me early on for her was that I'm not a guru. I've never felt that I was trained to be a spiritual guide and healing facilitator. Facilitator is a huge piece for me, because I think we're all facilitators. As we come together in our membership group, the Boral, we're all part of that. We're all facilitators of our own growth and of the growth for other people. And that's so important, because we may have grown up in a family like I did, where my parents were trained to think that they had to be really good parents, and therefore they had to keep everybody in line. That's not exactly a facilitating role. So
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's move on to the color card for this week. It is the Strength in Orange. Strength in Orange.
yeah.
You want to hold it up?
Yeah, I'll hold that one up. Yeah.
On the card it says alive, present, and happy. And to me, that taps right into that emotional part, that second chakra, that's so creative and using all your senses. This really taps into our inner child. It's just encouraging us to go. Like when our grandkids were here, we blew bubbles, and we went to the carousel, and it was just, I think it was fun for all the adults as well, because we just got to play with the kids.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we're hitting a rough spot, it's good to crank up the music and dance, or sing, or whatever expressive, writing, or whatever you do, just allow that to help you move that energy. But using orange is such a great great one. And of course, blue, you might want to talk about blue too, as its complement.
Well, one of the things well, Peter and I go to these different things at this art center here on the island, and we went to something last night, and they were reading a new play, and it was also singing parts. And I was saying to Peter, oh, I want to sing, and he said, well, there's this group on the island that you could join. I said, I have no bandwidth for joining anything else. But I thought, I could just sing. He said, sing in the shower. I could just sing on my own, because I love singing. There's something about singing or beating a drum or something, just the feeling that in your body is part of that ecstasy. So anyway, I probably will be doing that.
Yes. I have found myself starting to do more of that, and I really like it. It's really fun.
Well, singing was a big part for you at a certain time in your life.
It was, and just watching a couple of these little short things on Facebook, and it's where you're in that contest, and everybody stands up and cheers for you, and this is a person who is really scared to get out and sing, and they're just amazing, And I just thought, I know that's not where I am in my life, but oh gosh, that just thrills me, and so I put on music I like and sing with it, and and I'm enjoying myself. So
yeah, and that's really important. And there was on Facebook, I saw this really cool thing. It's not a drum, but it's a thing that you beat on and it makes different sounds and stuff. I'm really tempted to get that, but I always have to ask, are you really going to use it? Because you have a lot of things on your plate.
Yeah. Is that one that looks like a little spaceship kind of?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
I
I
just
like
thought
those.
that would be so fun. But
Yeah,
I always find that they say, well, it's really easy. And then I find that, well, it takes a little while to learn those kinds of things too. So
yeah, yeah.
anyway, the other thing I was going to do was to tell you that as I was looking at orange that you had picked out, I was seeing a lot of connection between that and ecstasy, because when we're saying the ecstasy says the hoped for magnificence of tomorrow is now. And I was thinking about how both ecstasy and orange are about being in the now, because this whole idea of being able to be in that place of being alive and present and happy, and then being in an emotional and creative place and using all your senses, that's not going to happen if you're not in the present moment. And ecstasy is all about that. I mean, ecstasy, yeah, part of what ecstasy says is that you can choose it, which I really think is true. I mean, you can shift your point of view so you become part of that ecstasy. But you can't do that unless you're in the present moment. So it's the question I had was, how do you do that when there's shocking news that comes in? We had some really difficult news that came in about a friend, and who's now a paraplegic, and so it's kind of like being pushed back or something for a moment because it's so shocking, and then you have to say, okay. What can I do? How can I be present? And so, what we always do is we look and say, how can the colors help? And so I was, for some people, this comes really naturally. This is something I developed over time. I can see virtually into a person's body sometimes. And I went in and saw the place in the spine where there was a broken place. So I just wrapped it in love. And then I asked for any colors that could help to go in there and work with it. And that helped me because I felt that I had been able to do something, and then I can let it go and let this person's inner self use that in any way that's highest and best for that person. And that's really satisfying. And I think sometimes if we can stay in the moment and then we have some of these, it's like having a tool in your pocket, and you go into the things that you've learned and use that, and you can use it long distance. And I always find that that's so important to me because, I'm like, well, what can I do to help? And I'll write a note, which is another way that I think that we can be of help. But I was really glad that I had that tool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We don't realize sometimes how much just sending that loving energy and trying to tune in and sending that loving energy, which is healing. It heals, like you said yourself, but it also sends it to them and is available for them to use. So, that's another way of affirming that, is that yes, this energy is something I can do for that person.
And I wanted to talk a little bit about the Vortal. This is our membership group that we've started, and I'm going to be speaking Sunday to the group, and we'll be talking with each other, getting to know each other better. And I'm going to use the tool of working with the yellow and the purple. And that was the colors for this month. And I really believe that that is so important right now. Don't think I'm the only one that's having a lot of sinus congestion, but there's also other congestion going on this month, and that was one of the things that came up in this little. Well, I'll just show it to you. It's not in color here, but it's has 4 quadrants to it as to what's happening this month. And congestion, energy congestion caused by polarization and duality clears into a natural flow of unity. So yellow and purple can be a great pair to start moving through our energy field and our body and start breaking up places that are stuck energy. And a congestion is stuck energy. And that congestion can be caused by the fact there's a lot of division in the world right now. And duality, meaning that instead of seeing ourselves as a wholeness, we see ourselves as parts. And I think that was really good for a while. And it's still sometimes important to understand each part first. But now is the time when this all comes together in unity. And so I really look forward to working with the Vortal group around these kinds of things, because I think these are the tools. And then that is also part of our color course, which Leslie has taught and which we trained people in, and maybe we'll be doing that training again. It's a wonderful way to really work with things that are stuck in the unconscious, so you don't even have to really understand what it is that you're breaking the old energy of, but you can feel it in your body. You can begin to feel how the natural flow of you comes back. So I'm going to see, this is one of the things that I'm still learning, is where everything is here. But I'm going to put up, I think it might have the place that you can go to. Here it is. So let's see. Here it is. transformationaltools.com/-Vortal/. So that's how you find it on the website. Go to transformationaltools.com. It's also in the menu, and it's also on the homepage. So you can read about it and see if this is something that you would like to be part of. I was hoping that Ofa would be here today because he is now signed up for the Vortal. So this is going to be fun I hope he'll be able to come. He lives in England. And so I'm hoping that our 2:00 time, Pacific time on Sunday, that he might be able to it's 8 hours difference, so it'd be 10 o'clock at night, but maybe he'd be willing to stay up late and join us.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to also put this up because I think that this is something, what we'd like you to do, if you would, is subscribe to our YouTube. And if you don't want to take that long link, you just go to youtube.com and then put in Transformational Tools and it will come up. And that's where you can find a replay of this as well as on Facebook. But you can also find the energy focus of the month. And we'll probably be doing some other things on there too. We're just kind of taking things one at a time to build on the Vortal and build on places where we can connect with people. All right. So I'm excited that we've got that Ofa with us.
Yeah. Well, hopefully people that are on here right now will think of their friends and say, hey, come to, Friday Focus, or look at that after we've posted, and just see what they think. And hopefully they can get some good information for themselves from that.
So I see that Candy's on here. Candy, where are you from? I think you may have told us and I can't remember, but boy, I would love to have you join us on the Vortal. By the way, it's only $7 a month, so I think it's affordable for everybody. And there are free things on there, like Journal with Your Knowing Self, then which is normally $25, is free to the Vortal participants. So if you want to put, I'd just be curious to see if you're in the United States or if you're in someplace else. Oh, you're from Trinidad. How cool is that?
How fun.
What's the time difference, Candy? Let's see if it's boy, this thing of trying to figure out time where everybody's available is really tricky. So, but I'm planning on doing one of the. I think I'm going to be doing the Masculine Feminine course, and I'm considering doing it on Saturdays at 10 a.m. And that an 8 hours difference, that will probably work okay. And I'm not sure what the difference is with Trinidad, but that would be really fun to have Candy with us too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm always dreaming.
Yes, for sure. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and jump into our personal readings now.
Yeah.
And the first person here is Will.
Yes.
And why don't you do the luminary?
Which one are you doing? Luminary?
I'm doing the color card.
Okay, I'll do the luminary. Yeah. Okay. This one always is interesting to me. I got Mosaic, and I want to just feel into the energy of, because Mosaic is about lots of different things that are unique coming together. You know what I'm getting, Will, is that I know you're working on a number of projects, but I've always felt that there was like something that connected them all. So I think it'd be interesting to see it as a mosaic and see what all the different parts of the mosaic are. It might give you some insight into the threads of connection that are between them.
Wow. The threads in there, that's what I was feeling too when you were saying that. So I got red, strength in red.
Nice.
And how great for that and mosaic together, because strength gives you that energy to get you moving on the projects, and it talks about it's creating, the red creates a stable foundation for the whole energy system of the body. It's the first chakra and located at the base of the spine. And for initiating, I'll just read out of the book a little bit. You are full of energy. Your energy fires up the creative force that starts projects. Once the project is well underway, you are bored. It's time to start something new. So that could be a strength. But I'm thinking you're getting focused right now. It says passion, versatility. I know that fits for you. There's one other. Spontaneity. Yeah. Let's see. Full of fire, starter doer, independent. I think the independent and starter doer are really where your energy is kind of focusing along with mosaic. It's like, okay, when you have an idea, you love to just dive in. And so the starter doer is full there. And yeah, the full of volcanoes.
Well, it's really important to recognize that this week is a time when that energy is going to be there for you, Will. So if you've been thinking about starting something, this would be, or I know you have things that you want to finish, that your energy will be there to do what is you want to do.
I also am getting that inspiration can come through his connections with other people. That's what I'm getting, is that, you know how pieces come together and then you just need that one piece or that two little pieces and then boom, there it is. So it feels like with your interactions, yeah, with people in this week, that's going to spur this on and help you move in that direction.
You know, Leslie, it makes me think of some things that have been happening with Peter and me. You know, we all are really comfortable with synchronicities, but if people haven't been used to noticing those, it all of a sudden, when you start thinking about it or understanding it, you're going to start noticing it. And he had a synchronicity coming back on the ferry, and he was starting to tell me about it, and we looked at each other and we said, "The universe." That's the code word of a synchronicity.
Yes. Yes, the universe. For sure. For sure. All right. So the next gal we have is Megan.
All right. Do we know Megan? I don't know if I've met Megan. So Megan, maybe
Megan
you can
Lawton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It sounds familiar, but I'm not sure. So Megan, have we met? And would you tell us where you're from? So I'm going to do a color card for her. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ah, it's the Strength in Pink, which is has a whole lot to do with Love Child. The card. It says innocent, trusting, and loving. What I love about pink, and what I feel about Megan is, she has a very lovely. Oh, through Dodie. Okay, yeah. In Washington State. Thank you, Megan. It's always good for me to have that kind of feel where you are. So you have a very soft side to you, Megan, and that's your child self. There's some strength in there. What I would say to you is that it's really important to be with that child part of you that has that strength, and really help that part of you to feel safe and heard, and really able to come and work with you in a way that really brings you forward to deal with other things, but not as a child, but as the child energy that is in connection with your discernment, so that you know how to work with that energy. So this is really lovely. And, it's not one of the pairs that we actually work with in the color therapy, but the color that I found and put on the color card was a light green, kind of like a mint green. And so you might want to put some mint green around you. If you have something you can wear that's mint green, that will really give a nice balance and bring out the strength of the pink.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful card. Beautiful card. The one I picked for Luminary is Presence. Look at the beautiful, like, indigo and dark blue and turquoise and white. These colors all, and the middle part there, I don't know if you can see that, but it looks almost crystalline. It's so beautiful. This is a vibration of the numbers 8 and 64, and it's all about presence. And let me explain a little bit what it's about. Presence is breathes and shifts as needed. Softly it imprints wisdom within and channels the divine mind through those who are willing. It's here and there. Presence is other and yet individual. It's as far away as you require and as near as you will allow. Before a thought can contain it, present breathes and shifts, filling your perceived void and reminding you you are not alone. So two things I'm getting is that reminder that you're not alone. You're connecting with divine presence. And sometimes people who have this energy come in see blue, like out, or this purpley blue out beyond their eyes a little bit, or they've seen them, that color keeps popping up in your life. You see it everywhere and you're like, gee, everything I'm looking at looks like that. I mean, that's happened for me for sure. But this is saying your matrix, or how your energy is now, that this presence is, this indigo blue is now working with you wherever you go. And it wants to be more of a companion in your life. It wants to be that presence that walks with you day to day and assures you you're not alone. So it's saying, connect with me. I'm available for you. Right? And do you get anything else with that?
Yeah, the thing that I find is that we don't always recognize presence because it comes in a lot of different forms. And it's whatever it feels like that it connects you to the divine source or to your own inner source. And when it's there, it's such a good companion. It has lots of information, but it just kind of wraps itself around you. And then you feel like you have available to you everything you need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Lovely. Okay, Winter Ray is next. And I'll do the luminary. Ooh, fun. All right. So the luminary I got was celebration. Vibration of the number 16. And this is really calling you to celebrate your evolvement, your growth, your expansion. It just says, there are times when we just need to realize how far we have come, how much the work we've done on ourselves has been so worth it to help us achieve that personal freedom and love toward each other and others. It says, join the mighty throng of souls, welcoming home an anticipated song of joy, transformed from seeds of possibility. Now radiate your magnificent colors. As a brilliant flower in full bloom, join others to co-create new octaves of experience. So it's saying you can join in with others that are like-hearted and are in that process of involvement, and just say, yep, we're doing it, and isn't it wonderful that we all get to do that together? Arlene?
Well, it's a strength in black, which is a great combination, because as awakened means that you've really come a long ways, and that the lots of things have awakened in you. Well, now you have the energy of black, which is all of the possibilities on earth, because it's as if you took all of the pigments, all of the colors that are part of this human space, and you mix them all together, you get black. So you're focused, transforming, and full of potential. A lot of times people are afraid of black and they go, oh, that's a bad color. No, it's not. It's a really good color because it means that you've gone through a lot and you've gone probably from the lesson, which is embrace the possibilities, banish fear. And if you've gotten to the place where you can banish some of that fear, it opens up all kinds of possibilities for you. And awakened is part of that too. The more that you become awakened and that veil goes away, so you begin to get the clarity, then you can use all the possibilities that are available to you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Wonderful reading. Candy is next.
All right. I am going to do a luminary for Candy. Oh, there it is. Aw, this is such a good one. This is called Love, Candy. I'm going to read from the book a little bit because this is one that Peter and I used at our wedding, and it's so special to me. And the words in here, I want to read you the words that we used because this is it's almost something to put up on somewhere where you see it often. Says, now as the veil thins, humanity sees clearly that love was never lost. And here are the words: compassion, acceptance, transformation, encouragement, allowing, embracing, offering, and co-creating are all available as you remember we are one with our divine source. And as I got into this work, I found that there were many words that I was using that were actually ones that were the opposite of what I wanted to experience. And so I began to change my vocabulary. And that's where these words came from: compassion, acceptance, transformation, encouragement, allowing, embracing, offering, and co-creating. And Peter and I used this at our wedding because this is how we feel about our relationship. These are the attributes that are part of that: compassion, acceptance, transformation, encouragement, allowing, embracing, offering, and co-creating. One of the things that I've learned is that as humans, we tend to say, well, go do this. Like it's a demand. But if you shift that, and you bring it into offering or suggesting, it's very different energy and it really works. So I'm really glad that this is here for you, Candy, because I want you to notice the colors in this too. Look at the rainbow colors. So there's lots of possibilities in the love that's being offered. Oh, good, Candy. Yes. I'll tell you what, you can send me your email address and I'll send you a picture of this candy along with those words so that you can have them. You can use Arlene at transformationaltools.com and just send me your email so that I can send that to you. And they are available to buy. It's a little bit more challenging when you're not in the United States or Canada or someplace that's easy to get to. But if you have a way for somebody who's going to be here in the United States and can bring it back for you, we're happy to send them to whatever address that you give us.
Yeah. Okay.
So what a wonderful group of people. Oh, good. There you got a great card for her.
Strength in white. Right. So while black is focused on the divine energy, sometimes with earth, white is the divine, beautiful wisdom and energy we get from there. My camera is not tuning it in very well. Sorry about that. The words are pure, strong, and unconditionally loving. That energy is there for you, along with this beautiful love energy. So So you're really tapping into that divine wisdom and the divine love that's available, and bringing that in. It's in the picture of the love um, luminary as well. There is white, different points in there.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of
A
white.
lot of it, yeah. So much light and love. So what a strong reading for you this week.
Very strong. I'm just feeling that you're in such a magical moment. And you know, I said in what I did, and go to the YouTube, Transformational Tools YouTube, and watch the video for the month, because one of the things that I said in there, what I'm calling it the magic of September. And I think that you would really, Ken, you would really find a lot of help with what's in there.
Great.
This was fun.
Wonderful. Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you, Arlene, for being here, and thank you for allowing me to come and be with you. And we just send our love and our luminaries and cards and have you and the colors, and may you have a wonderful week ahead.
And we just always feel such a connection with you when we do this kind of thing. So interesting. And the more that you come back and the more that we kind of get to know you, it's even so much more fun. So I'm hoping that you will come back and put this on your calendar for Fridays and come whenever you can, because we just totally enjoy having you be part of us. You're very welcome, Candy, and all of you that are here. We just love you.
Well, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.